Hi everybody. This is a topic that we used to kick around here in the vinyl community, and it was always a lot of fun. I always got a lot of laughs out of it because I think it's ridiculous. But I'll tell you what inspired that recently. There was at my record store a article that the owner had posted up on the wall, and all the patrons that came in would read it and get a kick out of it. The owner even wrote on the bottom of it, funny stuff. He likes to put funny stuff up there to read, and I thought this was pretty humorous. It's the old time question of, are we collectors or are we hoarders? You know, that kind of thing. Now, this is from a UK website, I think, and it's called Mind, M-I-N-D, mind.org.uk. And yeah, you ever seen your local newspaper, you would have a section in there called Dear Abby or Dear Heloise or Ann Landers or whoever it was that was supposed to be this really educated know-it-all who would solve all your problems. Just write to them in the newspaper and they'll take care of the issues for you and give you some of their vast array of knowledge. Anyway, this is a person called Deidre, the column, Dear Deidre, and I'm going to read the so-called problem to you and the response, okay? It starts out, Dear Deidre, every room in my house is filled with boxes of vinyl. My boyfriend's record collection has taken over. He calls himself a record collector, but the truth is he is a hoarder. Our bedroom is full of records, and there is no room for a bed, so we have to sleep on the sofas downstairs. I'm 38 and my partner is 42. We argue about this every single day. He always promises to sort them out and get rid of some, but he never does. He just keeps buying more. Okay, that's her issue. And, you know, I'm not totally opposed to that. I mean, if you have no room to move around and you got to sleep downstairs and can't even stay in the bed, that's an issue. Okay, but I have more of an issue with Deidre's expert reply, and that is, Deidre says in response, hoarding is very hard to live with, but your boyfriend will only change if he accepts that he is doing more than simply collecting. Try to get him to talk to you about it and how it started. For example, if he had an insecure childhood, maybe collecting gives him a sense of security. Mind.org.uk has information about hoarding on its website. Short and sweet, but I get a real kick out of that, folks. I mean, especially the reply. You know, we've got a problem. We've got some kind of a condition. We need help. It's deeply rooted. You know, maybe you were harshly toilet trained as a child, or perhaps you have an insecure childhood, have to hang on to Look. Let's get this Dr. Sigmund Freud stuff out of the way for a minute, okay? Here's the deal. The first part of the letter, as I said, I understand the whole bit about it going too far. If you can't move around in your bedroom, if you can't sleep in your bed, if you got to sleep down on the sofa and you can't walk, you got an issue. It's the second part, like I said, that I have an issue with. But to start with this, I'm not really wild about the 21st century. Okay, I don't like a lot of things and politically correct things. And one of the situations in this world today deals with people who are collectors becoming hoarders. You see, we all have seen, or maybe you haven't, but a lot of us have seen a television show that's on cable called Hoarders. And it deals with really sick people that do have garbage all through their house. I mean, sometimes it's piled up here to the top, and they have to crawl over the garbage to get out the door. You ever see those? And there's rats running around, and there's bugs, and there's feces, and they live amongst their own filth. And people have to wear oxygen masks and come in with these boy in the plastic bubble type outfits in order to deal with them and help them get some kind of order to their lives and get them to part with these things. And these people have a real condition. I'm not talking about that, but the problem is, the way I see it, now, in this world today, the 21st century, people have learned a new word. I mean, the word hoarder is not a new word, but the way people use it at the drop of a hat. Oh, my boyfriend has a baseball collection. He's such a hoarder. You know, oh, I know somebody that collects stamps. What a hoarder. You know, It happened just the other day in the record store. I mean, a guy came in to sell somebody's record collection. I think it was his father's or his grandfather's, and he came in and he goes, "Oh, my grandfather was a hoarder. Look at all of this crap. What a hoarder." You know, knock it off, hoarder, okay? Now, I was toying with the idea when I made this video of covering these records here on the floor up like this, see? I could very easily put the laptop up there and cover them up, but I decided, look, who am I kidding? Let's be honest about it. I got some records here on the floor, but it's nothing like these hoarder shows that you see, and I got to be honest with you. These records here, the reason they're on the floor isn't really because I don't have space for them per se. It's just because I guess, I'm a procrastinator. I'm more of a procrastinator than I am a hoarder, and that's something I got to work on a little. But I mean, there is room on these shelves. In fact, a lot of the records here were taken off the shelves to show in various videos that I've made, and they're going to be going right back on there. My grandmother, God rest her soul, used to say a wise thing: a place for everything and everything in its place. That's one thing I still haven't really gotten down. Got to put things back. But most of these, as I say, can go back in this cabinet. And if you look behind me with these bookcases, you can't see now, but the bottom rows are kind of empty. They have accommodation for some of this overflow. So basically, all this stuff has a space. They're gonna be put away. And just briefly, I'm gonna just take you a tour in the living room, and I'll show you what I have in the living room and as far as records go. Okay, and here in the living room, I have this one bookcase here where we have other kinds of stuff on it, not just the records, but some of the overflow was put out here, and as you can see, there's lots of space there. I really am only using the last two shelves, and you can see there's plenty of space on the bottom there if I should get any more records. But this is really pretty much saved for the Frank Sinatra records, the Christmas albums, and the Connie Francis collection that I have in here. And we've been living here just about a year, almost to the very day. We moved in, I think, somewhere at the end of February last year, so this hasn't changed really much in all that time, and I don't expect it to. So this is all out of the way and well organized. Okay, so there's the living room. That's not a horror site. So I just resent the idea that everybody uses the word hoarder. They just throw it around as often as they throw around the word awesome. Everything is awesome. Oh, so awesome. You went to the show last night? Awesome. Your baby's got a new tooth? Awesome. That's a whole subject for another thing. But hoarder, people learn a word and that's all they use. Everybody's a hoarder. They use it very liberally and they just throw it around anybody who has a collection. I'm a collector. I'm not a hoarder. But I will tell you this much, as I expect. If anybody wants to call me a hoarder, just do me a favor. Call me the Happy Hoarder. You know that old thing where somebody says, I don't know, they call somebody a jerk. You're a jerk. And the person responds, that's Mr. Jerk to you, pal. Well, if you want to call me hoarder, call me the Happy Hoarder, okay? Which leads me to my next topic. Collecting is a great thing. I mean, I've always done it, and I know there's a lot of people out there that are going to agree with me. They love collecting. It's in their blood. The thing about collecting that's so cool is, to me, that's always been my escape. I've never dealt with cigarettes. I've never smoked a cigarette in my life. I don't take drugs. I don't drink. I mean, I'll have a beer at a picnic once or twice a year, maybe. But generally speaking, I could go years without having a beer or drinking anything. Nothing wrong with that in moderation. I'm just saying that, maybe people like this Deirdre has an issue she's got to deal with. Deirdre, maybe this person's girlfriend has something. Instead of worrying about us collecting, why don't you worry about getting lung cancer from those cigarettes you inhale, huh? Instead of worrying about our collection, why don't you worry a little bit more about, I don't know, how much you're gambling or you're philandering or going out and cheating on your partner or whatever your vice may be. Okay, you take drugs. Maybe you're dying of drugs. I mean, just the other day, it just popped in my head now while I'm making this video. I heard something in the news about a girl, I think she was 19, who decided to experiment with LSD, and I think it was actually because she was into the Beatles. I think it was the Beatles, because we can blame them. No, just kidding. I never blame the drug dealer, and I never blame the music artist. excuse me, because the first time anybody ever starts, they make the decision. But that's, again, another topic. They make the decision what they're going to put in their bodies, in their veins, or in their arteries, or whatever, whatever. So I don't blame them. But the thing I'm saying is, this poor girl who died from this, she took some kind of, I don't know if she took the wrong thing or something too much. Whatever it was, she died. Okay. And people that do this have weaknesses. And I've always said, and I guess I'm fortunate, and some of you out there might be able to relate to this, that in my life, my escape hatch was not a pill, some booze, or a nicotine stick. My whole thing was enjoying my movies. I would escape into science fiction, escape into horror movies, comedies, anything to make me laugh, I feel good, chuckle. And music, of course, is a great escape. I mean, there's so much out there. If there's one advice you can give to your kids, I don't have kids, but I have 2 nephews and a niece. And I've always said, at least to one of them who's into records, I've said, look, don't ever stop that. I said, enjoy getting off on this stuff. Don't look for the drugs. Don't look to go find a dealer down the street who's going to sell you some H or crack or whatever. Get off in life. Get excited in life by your hobbies, man. I tell you, I get up early in the morning. I mean, I'm an early bird. Sometimes I can't sleep much past 5:30 or 6. And do you know why that is? As corny as it sounds, because I'm like a kid on Christmas morning. I get up. I can't wait to get on the computer and start answering people's comments. Can't wait. I'm excited for the new day to see what's going on with my hobbies. Hobbies can be a great thing, okay? They can give you escape from other things. People like Dear Deidre have to worry more about their issues, okay? I'm not going crazy here buying cartons of cigarettes. This stuff's not going to kill me. It gives me the release that I need. It gives me the fun and imagination. You want something more intense in your life? Watch Bela Lugosi or Boris Karloff movies, okay? Watch some horror films. Laugh with Abbott and Costello or Laurel and Hardy. You know what I mean? Well, anyway, there you go. That's my feeling on this, and it's just so stupid today. I mean, you collect stamps, you're a hoarder. Ridiculous.